The Ivory Cloud Serpent, a new mount coming in 8.3 that looks quite nice, but this thing drove me to near madness on the PTR. But thanks to the help of my friends Tublid and a little bit of help from RXMXY, we've knuckled down pretty much 90% of the info that's needed to know to get this mount currently. So this mount's kind of a mix between the Frightened Kodo and Alani, in the sense with the Frightened Kodo it'll be a random spawn and you've got to grab it before it goes away, and Alani where you'll need an item to actually get the mount. So to get the mount, you'll firstly need access to the new Vale of Eternal Blossoms, which will require you to do the new 8.3 questline, and you can stop the questline kind of a little bit in and just head straight to the Vale, but you'll be missing out on the new goodies like the Assaults and the Legendary Cloak. But either way, you just need to be able to see the 120 mobs in the Vale and you're all good to get the mount. So once you're in this phase of the Vale, next up you'll need an item called the Zan-Tien Lasso. This drops from the mogu mobs in the Vale, and we've had 3 drop, but they were all from the Zan-Tien mogus. There's 3 different types of mogus in the zone, and the Zan-Tien was the ones that dropped it for us during a mogu invasion. This doesn't mean the other mogu can't drop it, we just weren't able to get one to drop from them. And honestly, the Zan-Tien are the best ones to farm anyway, because they're pretty much everywhere and they have really nice kind of packs that you can grab and farm down, while the others were a little bit more awkward with their debuffs and the way they were. So Zan-Tien are probably the best ones to go for anyway. The Zan-Tien Lasso dropped for all 3 of us after about 20 to 50 minutes of farming, so it does seem like it's on a decent drop chance, but obviously a small sample size, so it could be kind of bad. But the fact that 3 of us got it that quickly, I don't think it's going to be that bad, so you shouldn't be farming for too long either way. When the mogu invasion ends and an ends off or a mantid invasion take its place, there are still a few mogu present in the zone. It's unknown if these can drop the lasso. I would be surprised if they can't, because it would be weird for the loot table to change, but honestly I don't think it's worth trying to get the lasso during the non-mogu invasion anyway, because the amount of mogu that's left is significantly less, so you're going to have a harder time of farming the lasso anyway. I would recommend waiting until the mogu invasion to even go for the lasso itself. Once you have the lasso, next up is finding the Ivory Cloud Serpent itself, and after finding it over 15 times on the PTR, we're able to knuckle down its route and its exact spawn location. Now it doesn't seem to spawn outside of a mogu invasion. We were sat around for many hours on the PTR during a mantid invasion and we weren't able to find it spawn. Now that doesn't mean it doesn't spawn, it could mean that it has a new spawn location and a completely new path. That's unlikely, but with the amount of hours we put into the mantid invasion, it can't be ruled out just yet. As I said though, unlikely that it does spawn outside of the mogu invasion. So what we believe to be its only spawn location, because we were able to consecutively find it here when we expected it to respawn, and that was during a mogu invasion right above this Zan-Tien camp. It'll spawn here, it'll fly around, and it'll follow the path that's up on the screen now. It will do one full loop, it'll get all the way back to this Zan-Tien camp, and then it will head to the Golden Stairs again for a second time, and then between the Golden Stairs and Mogu Shan Palace, it will kind of despawn somewhere in between there. Generally, like 9 times out of 10, it pretty much got to the Mogu Shan Palace, but we had 2 times where it spawned when it just hit the Golden Stairs. We're not too sure what changes that, but it's worth noting either way. But either way, you shouldn't really need to know its full path, because what we're going to be doing is grabbing it the second it spawns. For respawn timer, we were getting it consistently between 1 to 2 hours, generally around 1 hour 30ish, but we did have an early spawn as 1 hour and 5 minutes, and the later spawn was about 1 hour and 50 minutes. We didn't experience anything past 2 hours during our camping, but it doesn't mean it can't be longer than 2 hours, just pretty unlikely that we'd find it double digit times and it still be around that amount of respawn time. The short respawn time as well would make sense that it only spawns during a mogu invasion, just to add a little bit more difficulty to the mount, because getting the lasso and waiting an hour or 2 isn't really that bad to get the mount itself. So you've got your lasso now and you know where to find it. Next up is for getting it. And to get it, I would recommend sitting exactly where it spawns. You need to be a little bit in the air and you're going to be tagged by the great worms, but that doesn't matter because we're able to use the item, the Zan-Tien Lasso, while on our mount. We don't have to move anywhere. We're just going to wait for it to spawn. We're going to target it and then we're going to use the item instantly. And there's another nice thing as well, even if there are other people waiting in the spawn spot, we were able to get 2 people to tame it at once, and this was cross-faction too. So 2 people were able to get the mount from 1 spawn. So I'd imagine it's an infinite amount of people that can get it from 1 spawn as long as you're quick enough. So you will want to be, consistently kind of keeping an eye out for it, and using the item the second it spawns. Once you do see it, you'll want to be targeting it as quickly as possible, and then you'll use your item on it, and the item will have a couple of seconds cast. After that cast, the mount will be popped into your bag, and then the mount will despawn, the Ivory Cloud Serpent will despawn a couple of seconds after that. So you will need to be really quick and aware, because if you're not fast enough, someone else will snag the tame, and then it will despawn and you'll have missed out for the next hour or two. I would recommend making a macro to target the Ivory Cloud Serpent, literally just /target Ivory space Cloud space Serpent, and just keep consistently pressing that until you do find it, as it's just going to make targeting it and knowing it's up a lot faster. You could also potentially put /use Zan-Tien Lasso in the macro too. I don't know if that would work, but I don't see why it wouldn't. But just in case, just be ready to manually click it off your bars or in your bags, just in case the macro side doesn't work. Now, if this item happens to get changed in the future and you can no longer use it while mounted, then your next best bet is going to be on the corner of kind of like the Great Wall. It'll be one of the kind of little buildings, and if you sit on the corner, it flies past that corner and you should be able to tame it there. Just in case that's out of range, I don't think it is, then the next best bet is going to be on the main gate itself, right on the top. There, we've tamed it there multiple times, so it's confirmed that it's a good spot to go. And this is only in case the item gets changed, which is very, very unlikely, but, you know, precautions just in case. So that's everything you'd need to know to get the mount. There are a few things left as kind of a mystery to us, but honestly, you have 90% of the info needed, and we just need that kind of 10% clearing up. That 10% is, can it spawn during the ends off invasion? It's unlikely if it can't spawn during manted, but we just weren't able to test this. Also, can it drop outside of mogu invasions? Probably can. I don't see why the mobs would change their loot pool. And then can it drop from the non-Zan-Tien mobs? Probably can once again. Just don't see why you'd farm the non-Zan-Tien, because they're by far superior for farming the lasso. So if you do get one from a different mogu, let me know in the comments down below. If you do get one outside of the mogu invasion, let me know. If you see it outside of the ends off invasion, let me know. And then there is one final mystery. Very early on, when we were trying to find this, and God, I put like 78 hours into this, Tubbs put like 40-50 hours into trying to find this. A lot of hours have gone into making this video, so definitely appreciate that. Give Tubbs some love in the comments below. But there was one frame where I targeted it when we didn't know its route. I targeted it and instantly lost it, and I looked back at the footage and it was in a slightly different place. It was slightly higher and slightly closer to the wall from the normal route that we've seen it take every single time. So this one frame is a bit of a mystery. It might just be a distance bug because I'm pretty damn far from it. It might be just some kind of angle issue. Don't know. Either way, it left us very, very confused. So there may be a mysterious other route that we don't know about yet, and we just have massively RNG'd it, or it was bugged on the PTR and was only using one of its routes. Don't know. Either way though, hopefully this video was helpful to you to get the Ivory Cloud Serpent when the patch goes live. Look out for more videos coming soon. See ya.